And I should have thought about, hey, before Porzingis got hurt, this was a good series, and Doncic developed into a better, smarter player. So this could be a win for them. And right now, the Mavericks are in a great position. They just got to get that lead early on, and then it should be easy from there. All right. So can the Suns or Jazz? These are two teams. These are the top two teams in the West. But many people believe the Clippers, their load management, they're not going to be top two in the West. And the Lakers were unhealthy. So they were like, well, we don't know if the Suns or Jazz are actually legit. And I wasn't sure either. And I think, yes, they can make a run, the Jazz and the Suns. I think the Suns I can see them beating the Nuggets. I really can. I wouldn't be at all shocked. And the Jazz, I think, can beat the Mavs. I think they're just a better team. And I think they can beat the Clippers, too, if the Clippers squeeze out of this. I think it's possible to see a Suns... Actually, I don't think the Suns actually get past the Nuggets, but I could see it happening. Both those teams have a great supporting cast. And, Booker was the star of the Suns series, but again, Chris Paul was more valuable. When CP3 was out, they lost. When he was in, they won. Simple as that. So, they got a great supporting cast, and if they have CP3, it's possible they win. They come out the West. I can see it happening. Can definitely see those two teams making a run. Alright, so, Lillard says that the Blazers aren't at a good enough place right now. I agree with it, first of all. They gotta get a 2 for Dame. CJ McCollum was always known as that guy, like the number 2 for them. But, is he really that reliable, the number 2? Wasn't he injured this year again? He averaged 23 points. He shot 40%. It's a good player. Only played 47 games, though. He was injured for a bit. And, in the playoffs, he's averaging, 20. I think they can use a better 2 than him. And, actually, what they really could use, I think, is a big man, right? Yusuf Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic is pretty good. I don't know. I think they got to get more of a big man. McCollum. It's tough to put your finger on what the problem is in Portland. Is it the big man? Do they need a better 2? Do they get rid of CJ McCollum? What do they do here? They got to fix something, though, because this ain't working. So, we'll see. Alright, so, LeBron says, he said that, this series, going into the playoffs, this season, actually, going into the season, the Lakers just couldn't get into the zone that they were in last year. They had trouble getting in, because I think people really underestimate how tough it was for the Heat and Lakers, because both of them made the finals last year, were a first-round exit this year. And a lot of people are like, oh, they're so soft. Let me get a 71-day off season. I get it. But you also have to put yourself in their shoes. They are used to having, the teams that made the finals are used to having a 3-month off season. They're used to having a 90 to 120 day off season. It is not normal that they have a 71-day offseason. It was the shortest offseason ever. And you saw a lot of the teams. Ain't it funny that the Knicks and Hawks, two of the worst teams last year, succeeded this year, while the Celtics and Raptors, two teams two teams that were pretty damn close to making the finals last year, struggle. Injuries really plagued teams. The Lakers should have been number one. Like, injuries really plagued teams that made it far because they didn't get because the people that didn't make the bubble, again, Knicks and Hawks, had like over a 200-day offseason. That's crazy. It's an advantage, really. And I wouldn't overreact to this. I think, again, a lot of it had to do with injuries, but like, I wouldn't completely give up. I wouldn't be like, all right, we're watching the last leg of LeBron's career. Just wait a second. We thought that 2 years ago when, again, he got injured. Wow, injured. And, again, they missed the playoffs, something LeBron never does. This year, LeBron got injured again, and they lost in the first round, something LeBron never does. So, I wouldn't overreact. I would not be shocked if we saw him in the finals next year. Alright. So the Lakers-Suns series is over. Suns were winning, and again, first quarter, last game, AD was incredibly unhealthy. It was clear. It was crystal clear right now. And again, I said Lakers gotta get him early. That's why I don't think the Clippers were dumb enough to, tank at the end of the season. Because if they really tried to get the 2 seed where the Suns were at, they would get the Lakers. And I think they could beat the Lakers, honestly. Considering where LeBron and AD were, health-wise, could have beaten them. And, I don't know. I think it's better to get the Lakers early. Because they were a mess the whole season, really. I think LeBron's definitely right, they failed to get into the zone that they wanted to be in. And, it was just even worse when they had to go into the playoffs. So, speaking of the playoffs, these playoffs have been odd. It's like the NCAA tournament. Anyone has a chance. And that's why it's better than the NBA, the NCAA. It's just more entertaining, and more people have a shot at winning, and there's more teams in there. There's always one team that makes a run, and it's amazing to watch. This year, it was UCLA. And even though it is often that the team expected to win wins, Gonzaga was expected to win, but a lot of people did say Baylor as well. I did too. But it feels like it's anyone's game right now. The Hawks, Trae Young, I think I can make a case for anyone to win. Sixers, Embiid comes back. They got Embiid and Simmons running. They beat the Hawks. Say they play the Nets. Nets got no interior defense. They got one of the best big men in the league. I could see them going to the finals and winning. They got Doc Rivers, an experienced coach, too. So, the Hawks, Nate McMillan, 30-12 since they got him. They would have been 57-25 on a regular season. You know, Trae Young has come out. He has arrived at the NBA officially. He might be able to ride this to the finals. You don't know. Nets obviously got the big three. KD's amazing. Kyrie is a good number two. Harden is amazing scorer. The Bucks can beat the Nets easily, and they're evenly matched with the Sixers. They could probably beat the Hawks. They can win the finals. It could be their year. Who else is in here? The Suns. Chris Paul. Incredibly valuable. And a lot of times, Chris Paul and his teammates blank out in the playoffs. Right now, Chris Paul's playing well and Devin Booker's playing well. So they got the value and the star. That's what they always need. If Devin Booker continues to play this way, and he plays this way, and Monty Williams is as good as he looks, they can win. The Nuggets got a great coach, got a better version of the Joker than they had last year. Is Jamal Murray back? I think he is, right? Oh crap! I forgot he's injured. My bad. Damn, that's embarrassing. Why did I even ask that? He tore his ACL. But they played very well without Jamal Murray anyway. And other players have stepped up. They've done a great job. So I can see them winning too. You know, and who else? Okay. Clippers and Mavs. Again, did we think that the Mavs would beat the Clippers? In the playoffs, Luka has 35, 9, and 8. He's shooting 48% from the field, 43% from 3. He's shooting terrible from the line, but that's all good. You know, he's playing very well this series. He continues to play this way. They can compete against, the Jazz. And the Jazz, you know, they can beat the Jazz. I don't think they do, but they can. But, you know, I think it's anyone's game right now. I really do. And speaking of that, I'd say the most intriguing series is the Nets and Bucks. They got 3 guys, maybe even 4. Like, if I were Steve Nash, I would not stress about who will take the last shot. I mean, you got 3, maybe even 4 guys that can hit it. KD, I would trust the most KD to hit it. And I think out of all 3 of the players, I think KD is the least, or the most selfless. And I think he has the best, he can score a lot easier, and I think he would make that extra pass if he has to. Or he's the most likely to make that extra pass if he has to. Kyrie's made the shot before. He's made one of the biggest shots in NBA history in the NBA Finals. I'd probably put Kyrie second and Harden third. And even Joe Harris, the best 3-point shooter in the league, can hit it. You know, but the Bucks also could really exploit that interior defense weakness, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. Alright, my final topic today will be the Clippers and Mavs. Actually, they're playing right now. The Mavericks are winning. And I think I'm really onto something with this clutch thing. Alright, sorry.